Namaste everyone. Thank you for joining in this video. So this video is about the spatial aspect series that we have been doing. Okay, so we know that the outer planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Mars, and Rahu, they are given spatial aspects. Okay, apart from the usual seventh aspect of all the planets. And in the previous videos, we covered Jupiter, we covered Mars, and we have also covered Saturn. So this video is about the meaning of the other aspects, the special aspects of Jupiter. But then before we go into the meat of the topic, kindly subscribe to the channel if you have not done that already. Like the content and please share it with your friends and family if you find it useful. Okay, so Jupiter, as we know, is regarded as the most benefic planet, and it represents all auspicious things like knowledge, wisdom, law, guru, spirituality, higher philosophy, children. And in a female chart, Jupiter also represents the husband. Okay. Now, in astrology, Jupiter has been, as an outer planet, Jupiter has been given two additional aspects along with the usual seventh aspect that is there in all the planets. So Jupiter has three aspects, and Jupiter aspects the fifth house from its position, the seventh house from its position, and also the ninth house from its position. Okay, so what it means is, if Jupiter is in your first house, then it will aspect your fifth house, the seventh house, and the ninth house, right? Similarly, if Jupiter is in the fourth house, then it will aspect the eighth house, the 10th house, and the 12th house. So in this way, Jupiter will aspect three different houses from its place. And we know that normally a planet will aspect only the seventh house from its place. Okay, so these two are the special aspects of Jupiter, the fifth aspect and the ninth aspect. Now, just like I explained in my video on Mars and Saturn, there is a reason why Jupiter is given, these two additional aspects by Parashara, right? The fifth aspect is actually related to the fifth house, and which is the house of children, education, teaching, counseling, happiness, and so on. And Jupiter is the natural significator of all these things in Vedic astrology. So, this fifth aspect of Jupiter is based on the Karakas of Jupiter, okay? The Karakatvas of Jupiter, not the Karakas, okay? And the ninth aspect is regarded as very traumatic, okay? I've seen the ninth aspect of Jupiter to be very traumatic. And the ninth house is the house of luck, okay? So it is also the house of higher education, religion, teachers, guru, ancient texts, dharma. And also Jupiter has the natural karakatva of all these things. Okay, so the ninth aspect of Jupiter is related to the significations of the ninth house. Okay, so ninth Sagittarius is actually the natural ninth house in the zodiac, and this is ruled by Jupiter. So ninth aspect is very natural to Jupiter. Okay, so although the ninth aspect of Jupiter can be difficult, but you will learn things naturally even if you have to learn it the hard way. Okay, now the results of Jupiter's aspect will depend upon the dignity of Jupiter in the chart. Okay, and that dignity will actually decide whether a person will easily get that knowledge or he or she has to put a lot of efforts. Okay, and the dignity of Jupiter will also decide whether the knowledge received is actually the righteous one or the wrong one. Okay, so Jupiter's dignity is all about the kind of morals that we have in life. And if Jupiter is located in fire signs, that means in Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, then it means that the person is all prepared and all charged up to get knowledge. Okay, they're very driven towards getting knowledge, but then, this can be a double whammy, a double-edged sword, if I could put it, because if they get wrong knowledge, they can become fundamentalists and very adamant regarding their beliefs. Okay, then Jupiter in Cancer. So Cancer represents the exalted form of Jupiter, highest knowledge. And here, knowledge comes very easily. For those who have Jupiter in Cancer, they can get knowledge very easily without much effort. Okay. And these people will always get the right gurus easily in life, right? Then comes Jupiter in Pisces. So these people are highly spiritual, and such a person will get knowledge only to help others without desiring to achieve anything for himself or herself. Okay. Jupiter in Scorpio. So here, there could be chances that the person undergoes a lot of changes in his belief system as he or she progresses through life. Okay, these people will find many gurus giving conflicting education. And as a result, their own beliefs will be constantly changing. Remember, Scorpio is all about change. Okay. And if Jupiter is in the air signs of, and if Jupiter is in the signs of Mercury, that means Gemini or Virgo, then also the person will get knowledge. But, a lot of things depend on the happiness of the planet. Jupiter is not happy in Gemini or Virgo because these houses are ruled by Mercury. So Jupiter will certainly give knowledge because that is the job of Jupiter in your life. But then you'll either be unable to use that knowledge, or maybe you will misuse the knowledge. Okay. If Jupiter is located in Taurus and Libra, then, we know that these are two Venusian signs, and Venus is regarded as an enemy of Jupiter. And just because, Venus represents the materialistic side of life. So Jupiter's presence in these signs gives materialistic knowledge. Okay. So what you can say that due to Jupiter's presence in these houses, the person may end up getting the wrong knowledge and, end up in a lot of trouble because of the application of that knowledge. Okay. Again, Jupiter in Aquarius. So this is a neutral position of Jupiter, although Aquarius is ruled by Saturn. Okay. So, these are the people who will have an average amount of knowledge in their life. Neither they will find knowledge too easily, neither they will find that knowledge is too hard to acquire. Okay. And then Jupiter in Capricorn, of course, we know that Jupiter is debilitated, very unhappy in Capricorn. And this is where the person can suffer from wrong morality. Okay. These people may have very hard time finding the right knowledge or finding the right guru. Okay. And if you have this placement, then you can expect to have a guru only after you are 36. And even then, even if you have a guru, you might not value his or her advice or teachings. Okay. So what is interesting to note is that out of the 12 signs in the zodiac, Jupiter does average or poor in 7 out of those 12. Okay. So just because Jupiter represents husband, okay, it shows that when the marriage fails, there are more chances that the husband was irresponsible towards the relationship which ended the relation. I'm speaking about the female chart here. Okay. And we also need to take into consideration the fact that Jupiter gets directional strength in the first house. That means it gets Digbala in the first house, and it gets Dikshunya. That means it loses directional strength in the 7th house. So the position of Jupiter in these houses will also change the interpretation of its various aspects. Okay. And we also have to consider the maturity age of Jupiter, which is 24 years. So, if someone is someone is older than 24, then the energies of Jupiter may be more favorable, as now the energy has become matured. Okay. But what about a Jupiter that is retrograde or combust in a chart? In that case, if it is retrograde, Jupiter is already strong, and it will become more favorable to the individual after the 30s. Okay. And if it is combust, it is going to give you results only after 55. So, such a person may have complete change in his belief system after reaching 30 or after reaching 55 based on the retrogression or combustion. And that will also modify the results of Jupiter in these signs. Okay. Now let's look at the interpretation of these aspects. Okay. What do these aspects actually mean? So the 5th house aspect of Jupiter, we know that the 5th house relates to education, teaching, counseling, etc. And it shows that whenever Jupiter aspects the 5th house from its position, the person wants to educate, teach, and preach about things or people related to that house. Okay. And similarly, if Jupiter is in the 12th house, it will aspect the 4th house with its 5th aspect. So this shows that a person would behave like a teacher or a guru when he or she is at home or in a home environment. Okay. It'll be like being a counselor at home in every situation. All right. And if Jupiter is in the 2nd house, the 5th aspect will go to the 6th house. So this means that the person will be like a guide at his daily work environment or with his or her colleagues. Okay. If Jupiter is in the 9th house, then the 5th aspect will be at the ascendant itself. So the whole personality will have the flavor of a teacher or a counselor. Okay. So what about the 7th aspect of Jupiter? So this aspect shows where or with whom the person wants to interact and share knowledge with others. Okay. Where the person wants to share wisdom with others. So the 7th house will always remain a place where The person shares, deals, or interacts with other people. Remember, 7th house is the house of partnerships. Okay. Similarly, if Jupiter is in the 1st house, the person may become like a teacher or guide to the spouse. Okay. If Jupiter is in the 4th house, then such a person will share his or her knowledge and wisdom with people at the workplace, because then it will be directly aspecting the 10th house of work or completion of work. Okay. The 9th house aspect, I've mentioned that the 9th house, is the house of higher education, teachers or gurus, philosophy, and so on. And the 9th aspect is the hardest aspect. I've also made a video on the 9th aspect of Jupiter and how it causes a lot of problems. But wherever Jupiter sends its 9th house aspect, the person will gain higher education related to that house, develop his or her own philosophy. And with the passage of time, it is very much possible that such a person will himself or herself become a great teacher, or become really, really knowledgeable, or become a guru regarding things related to that house. Okay. For example, if Jupiter is present in the 4th house, then the 9th aspect will be on the 12th house of spirituality. So with time, these people will develop their own spirituality in spiritual matters, and in their own philosophy in matters related to the 12th house, and will be seen like a guru. Okay. If Jupiter is in the 10th house, then the person will develop his own philosophy of his daily work or dealing with the obstacles in life, and will be seen as a teacher in their daily work or within colleagues. Okay. So this is the way that you will look at the aspects of Jupiter. And of course, as I said, the dignity of Jupiter and the placement of Jupiter in various houses will determine how a person will receive and share wisdom and knowledge. Okay. So this is how Jupiter's aspects work. That's all from me in this video. Do let me know if you could resonate with it, if this video resonates with you. And if you have any query, or if you want a consultation regarding your chart, please reach out at the number provided in the description box. Please share this video with your friends and family if you find it useful. I'll see you soon in yet another video. Namaste. Om Gurave Namaha.